Well, right now, attorneys for Michelle Carter preparing the teenager's involuntary manslaughter trial. The Massachusetts high school student set to appear in court in less than a week for a pretrial hearing. Now, investigators say Carter sent her friend Conrad Roy a series of texts encouraging him to commit suicide. He was found dead in his car from carbon monoxide poisoning last July. Meanwhile, as her daughter is awaiting trial, Carter's mother posting pictures of Michelle living it up, get this, at Disney World and at her prom. Rebecca Rose Woodland is a trial attorney, and Brian Claypool, a criminal defense attorney. Both are joining us now to weigh in on this case. Obviously very insensitive of the mother to post these pictures of her daughter having a great time at Disney World and enjoying her prom while she is awaiting this trial. At the same time, there are those who believe that, like you, Rebecca, that you feel that there's no legal responsibility to obtain emergency aid for someone who is in need of mental health counseling.
Well, this is the issue here. This is the big issue. We don't know what all those text messages have said over the course of time. Apparently there are thousands. So I believe that the defense of this girl will be, well, he was mentally ill. Apparently he had previous depression for about 3 years. We're not sure. You know, these are all facts that we'll find out once we really hear the trial progress. But what is the responsibility if someone does have a pre-existing condition to go get him help? Does that mean if you don't, that you're then going to be brought up on manslaughter charges? I mean, think about the implications of that in just a common sense sort of a way, Uma. You know, do you know what I mean? I mean, legally, everyone can't be responsible. He's not a doctor. The girl wasn't a doctor, you know. So I think that the issues here are going to be very, very difficult for the prosecution to really set forth.
But on the flip side of that, Brian, according to police report, when this young man got scared, when he continued to sit in the car and the carbon monoxide was filling up the room, he exited the vehicle. And allegedly, there are texts from Michelle saying that told him to get back inside the car, to finish off the job. Those kinds of texts show that someone is actually encouraging someone to do something that would be detrimental or harmful to that individual.
Yeah, Uma, make no mistake about it. This is a terrible tragedy and it's heartbreaking. But being mean and being maniacal does not equate to murder. Michelle Carter should not be charged with involuntary manslaughter. If you break down what the law says in Massachusetts, Uma, manslaughter is the unintentional killing of another person through wanton or reckless conduct. There's no question that Michelle was reckless in what she did, but it didn't legally cause the death of Conrad. What caused the death of Conrad, what was a substantial factor in bringing about his death, was his mental illness. A year prior to this, he had attempted to commit suicide. He had a grave mental health problem. So I think this case should be more about mental health awareness for youth. It should be about bullying and how to prevent bullying and educating the youth on how to stop this from happening in the future.
But what about personal responsibility? What about personal responsibility and exercising good judgment and taking on a role where you're actually not helping someone to do something that's going to be detrimental to their life, Michelle? Rebecca, excuse me, Rebecca.
Well, you know what I mean, Uma, I have to agree with Brian on this. Yes, personally, value-wise, of course the text messages this girl sent were it's just absolutely ridiculous that a person would ever encourage someone else to take their own life. Quite frankly, I think it's disgusting. I think the mother is disgusting that they are living it up, and while someone else's son has passed away, and apparently they were dating or in some sort of close relationship. That being said, legally, Brian and I agree on this. Legally, did she cause his murder? You know,
that's going to be the question.
Right.
Yeah, and that's something that's obviously going to be very, offers a gray area and one that's going to be, you know, sifted out in the court. But certainly this is a very provocative case and talks a great deal about, you know, what teens are up against today. And as you point out, bullying and other problems that are confronting them today. Right. Thanks to the both of you for joining us with your insights. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Uma.
Thanks.